our most basic common link is that we all inhabit this small planet. We all breathe the same air. We all cherish our children's future. And we are all
Join
one.
me in wishing independence, Kenya, a peaceful, successful, and prosperous future.
What an opener. Hello, and welcome to my review of Remembrance of the Daleks. This is the first of my classic series reviews, and I thought, why not start with something that ties in to my Time Lord Victorious content, as this story is part of the Road to the Dark Times collection. But without further ado, let's get right into the review. The story begins with the Doctor and Ace on their first adventure together. They arrive in Shoreditch, 1963, right outside of Coal Hill School. Ace tries to figure out how money works in the 1960s, while the Doctor looks at a strange van with a very large aerial. They eventually regroup, and join a group of soldiers fighting something, and that something turns out to be a Dalek. As you've probably figured out, the story takes place right after An Unearthly Child in the overall continuity, and because of that, we get some really good references. We see 76 Totters Lane, and the I Am Foreman junkyard sign, spelt wrong mind you. Ace picks up the book Susan reads in her first scene, the one about the French Revolution. The Doctor mentions Spyridon, but says it wrong.
What does it do? Well, at best, it will interfere with the Daleks' control systems. I rigged something like it on Spiridon.
And the worst?
Do absolutely nothing.
He mistakes the group captain for the Brigadier, makes reference to the Loch Ness Monster and London Underground Yetis. Ace and the Doctor also make reference to TV super detector vans, a fabrication by the BBC in the 1960s to get people to pay for a TV license. And of course, the most self-aware scene in the show's entire history.
This is BBC Television. The time is 5:15, and Saturday viewing continues with an adventure in the new science fiction series,
This story was the first of season 25, written by first-time writer Ben Aaronovitch, sorry if that's pronounced wrong, and directed by Andrew Morgan. This story also marked the beginning of the Cartmel Masterplan, devised by script editor at the time, Andrew Cartmel, to give an air of mystery back to the Doctor. The plan was for the Doctor to be a Time Lord called the Other, one of the three founding fathers of Time Lord society, along with Rassilon and Omega. But sadly, due to the whole show in 1989 being cancelled, this never came to full fruition. Until the Timeless Child came along, but let's get back to a good story before I go off on a rant. Remembrance of the Daleks is a story jam-packed with different groups. We have the Doctor and Ace trying to maneuver the Hand of Omega throughout the battlefield. The Intrusion Countermeasures group, acting as a stand-in for UNIT as it wasn't formed yet. The Renegade and Imperial Dalek factions, along with a British fascist group called the Association. There's a lot on this story, but it doesn't feel too exhausting or difficult to understand. It's never boring, and always has action around every corner. Now we'll talk about our main villains, the Daleks. In this story, we have two warring factions, the Imperials and the Renegades. The Imperial Daleks are coloured white and gold, and they remind me of stormtroopers, as they both serve an emperor. But the Renegade Daleks, on the other hand, are coloured the classic gunmetal grey, and led by a Dalek Supreme. We had a hint of their rivalry in Revelation, but in Remembrance, we have an all-out Dalek civil war, with each faction having some beautiful designs like the Special Weapons Dalek and Black Dalek Supreme. Davros returns for the last time in the classic series, as does his actor, Terry Malloy. Davros wants his hands on the Hand of Omega, and eventually gets it, accidentally destroying Skara with it, due to the Doctor's intervention. Davros planned to use the Hand of Omega to destroy the Time Lords, essentially making this the story that kick-started the Time War, other than Genesis of the Daleks, of course. But the Daleks aren't the only memorable thing in this story, as the whole cast of side characters are by far some of the most memorable in the classic series. We have Mike Smith, who I'll get into soon, as well as some of the members of the ICMG. Mr. Ratcliffe, an interesting character whose views are best summed up in this scene.
Are you ready for war, Mr. Ratcliffe?
Yes. This country fought for the wrong cause in the last war. When I spoke out, they had me imprisoned.
You will be on the right side in this war.
Ratcliffe believed that Britain should have sided with the Nazis in the Second World War, and was imprisoned for it, leading him to make the Association. This makes perfect sense, as in the 1960s there was a growing white supremacist movement, something not commonly known today. Mike was a sergeant in the ICMG, playing a major part in the whole story. But he was also a part of the Association. He double-crosses the Doctor and Ace, but says he didn't mean to hurt anyone.
Ace, I didn't know it was the Daleks. I was just doing Mr. Ratcliffe a favour.
Do me a favour and drown yourself.
I thought it was the right thing. Mr. Ratcliffe had such great plans. Ace, I never really wanted to hurt anybody. It's just you have to protect your own. Keep the outsiders out, just so that your own people can have a fair chance.
I said shut up!
We also have John, a coffee shop worker who discusses philosophy with the Doctor, and shares with him one of the more defining moments of McCoy's run.
See? Every great decision creates ripples. Like a huge boulder dropped in a lake. The ripples merge, rebound off the banks in unforeseeable ways. The heavier the decision, the larger the waves, the more uncertain the consequences.
Life's like that. Best thing is just to get on with it.
Overall, this story is fantastic. For the low budget the season had, you can tell most of it was put into this story, and it does not fail. Ben Aaronovitch makes it very hard to believe this is his first time writing, as the story is easily the best Dalek story we've seen since Genesis. It feels like a blockbuster movie that you could show today and it would still hold up. Full of action, a memorable cast, and the start of a perfect TARDIS team. But anyway, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video as much as I did making it, please consider leaving a like, and subscribing to my YouTube channel down below. This is the first of what I hope to be many classic series reviews, and I have a new series in the works, so be on the lookout. Thanks for watching.